So I struggled lust for majority of my teenagers, if not all of my teenagers. And there was this one day where everything changed for me. I don't even know where I'm getting the courage to make this video, but I hope it helps someone. Okay, so let's go back to when I was around 10 years old. This was a time in my life where I was the most impressionable. And ironically, sex was put on such a high pedestal in this time. All the boys were speaking about it, bro. From soccer practice, school, here in my neighborhood, the boys, it was such a frequent topic, bro. All the boys were claiming that they've had it. All the bros were claiming how much sex they were having, bro. And I'm not gonna lie to you, at the time, I was smart enough to know that these bros are lying. Because I even lied too, knowing very well that they are lying, right? But what this did is that it sparked a lot of curiosity in my mind. I really, really wanted to know what sex feels like, bro. I really, really did. It bothered me that I did not know what it feels like. And I know it sounds weird, because it is. It is weird, but yes, it bothered me a lot. And I genuinely think the reason why this was such a frequent topic among the boys is that they were also curious. They also wanted to know what it feels like. So, yeah, man, fast forward 2 years later, around 12 years old, the boys started speaking about masturbation. And it feels like sex, and it's so good, right? It's so good. And they called it another word, the word that we use in vernac here in South Africa, but they said it's so good. And I'm like, oh, snap, that is stupid. I genuinely blew the idea off. When they explained the concept to me, I'm like, guys, that is stupid. And I kept the whole persona of, me, I'm just gonna stick to the real thing. What are you guys doing? You know, what is that? What do you call that? Until I got home, bro. And curiosity sparked my mind again. So they say it feels like sex. So it feels like the real thing, Velevel. It bothers me that I don't know what this feels like. And I finally want to know what sex feels like. So let me just try it and see what happens. And I tried it, boys. The feeling was immaculate. I don't want to lie, bro. The feeling was so good. I had never felt like that from the day I was born, bro. That was one of the most amazing feelings. And the sad part is, I wanted to feel this every single day. And I knew what to do now, right? Here is the sad part. Here is the sad part. I'm 12 years old. I know I'm not supposed to be having sex. I know I'm not even supposed to be thinking about sex. I'm not supposed to be talking about sex, right? And I wouldn't even mention the word sex to my parents. And the even sadder part is that there is somebody who's like 12 years old who YouTube is going to restrict them from watching this video because of the amount of times I've said sex. But they're going to search a website and they're going to see those images and those videos. And it's going to be easier for them to access those videos than it is for them to access this video, right? But I wanted to feel the feeling every day. And there was no adult in my life who was going to let me know that, hey man, this is bad for you. This gets addictive, right? This is going to hurt you in the long run because first of all, I kept it so private. Nobody knew about it. And I wasn't going to tell anybody about it because I knew that I'm not supposed to be engaging in such activities. But curiosity, guys. So I did it every day. Yes, every single day without fail. And I found no problem with it, bro. No problem whatsoever. Because I don't know that it's wrong. I just like the feeling, bro. And when you leave a 12-year-old boy with this feeling to his own devices, you get disaster. Disaster, I tell you. Disaster. Okay, so I continued, right? Continued. Then after some time, I got used to the feeling because when you feel that feeling every day, eventually you get used to it. Then I learned that certain types of imagery led to more stimulation. How I learned it is that one of my bros had the videos and the pictures on his phone. Now, back when I was 12 years old, these were very hard to get. Even with the rise of the internet, these were very hard to get. And we knew what to search because when those videos began, they always started with the website name. So when we searched the website, it would tell us that we need to pay. And at 12, 13, bro, we had no money. So we had to use what we had, right? And you'd always have to get it in the sneaky way. Like I'd ask my bro, how did you get it? And he's like, send fast, delete. You know, and that's how he got it. And now he's sending all the boys. There was even this game over here. You guys know this game over here, right? And bro, there was just so much, bro. There was so much, but it was also very limited at the time because we did not have access to the websites. I did not have access to the websites. Then fast forward to when I was 13 years old. I think I was doing grade 8, right? I only had the videos that I had, no other videos, right? And I also got used to those videos. They started boring me and I wanted new stimulation, but I couldn't get it anyway, bro. And at this age, funny thing is, the topic was starting to become a bit more uncomfortable, even for the gents. You know, it wasn't as open as it was. It's actually crazy how that switch happened, you know. And you also stop talking about it that much. And it starts becoming embarrassing to admit that you do it. But it still didn't bother me. And then I started also looking for more, right, in my own ways to see if there are any free websites or whatever. But it was just very hard to get at the time. Then this one day, bro, I don't know. I remember this bro. I'm just not going to say his name, right? He wasn't even a friend of mine, right? But this bro knew all the free websites. You see the free websites that are so popular right now? Bro knew them, bro. It's like, bro, there's this website. And he was trying to impress girls by sending that, which is insane. And he did that on my phone, bro. My phone. And I didn't mind at the time, right? Because I was like, hey, Conan. So all of those websites, bro, right? And then I'm like, what? So guess what I did? Went back home, dog. I searched those websites, dog. And so many videos, dog. Like there were 3 different websites. Those websites had so many videos, bro. It is crazy. I don't know if I'm getting the courage to actually speak about this. But it is crazy. It had so many videos, bro. And yeah, now here was another limiting factor for me, guys. It was data. Because before then, we did not have Wi-Fi here at home. So I used data, dog. And I would find any way to get data. Whatever money they gave me, I would buy a large chunk of data. But that data would finish in like 2 days because of the videos, bro. Because of the videos. Yeah, it's insane when I think about it. And it continued, guys. It continued. Now, I really don't want to weird it out, but just get prepared to be weirded out, right? No, actually, let me not mention all of that. Guys, but just know that it was bad, okay? Just know that it was bad. There's a lot that I won't mention, but I just don't want to mention because it's also unnecessary and it's weird. But just know that it was that bad, right? And it affected my confidence a lot. And I don't know how it did it, but it did affect my confidence a lot. I couldn't be left alone at home. Otherwise, I know what I'm doing. I could not sleep at night without engaging in masturbation. And it was just a cycle. And I was still comfortable in that, bro. I was so comfortable. It did not bother me at all. And then when I was 14 years old, I accepted Jesus as my Lord and Savior, right? And it still did not bother me because I'm like, there is no way in the Bible that it says masturbation is a sin. You know, the only thing that the Bible says is sex before marriage is a sin. And funny thing is, even after that, I still wanted to like experience having sex, right? And I was like, yeah, I am not going to do the whole sex outside of marriage is a sin thing. You know, that's the only thing in the Bible. I will try my best not to murder, not to steal, not to do whatever. But sex before marriage, that's where I draw the line with God. You know, that's like I'm definitely doing that. I was so certain. I'm like, I will follow the whole Bible, but this part, God will have to forgive me, right? So I had never drank alcohol. Like to this day, I've never poured myself a glass of alcohol and drink it. I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm just saying that is the standard that I chose for my life. I don't go out to party. I don't smoke. You know, I don't do all of these things, right? But I was like, this one, I am going to do it. This is the only thing God will forgive me for this. You know, and that was my mentality for a long time, up until I started taking my Christianity serious, right? But then, as time went on and I kept on doing it, the masturbation, I started feeling guilty, you know. It started feeling bad for some reason, bro. It started feeling bad, and the boys weren't really talking about it as much anymore, and it was more embarrassing to talk about it. And if you were still masturbating, we would make fun of you, right? And you start keeping quiet about it, right? And this is a time where I wanted to now stop. And then I realized that I could not stop. And that's where I was like, oh man, this is an addiction. And this is like years later. Like I started wanting to stop when I was 15, 16. Yeah, that's like years later, bro. I'm like, I want to stop. And I couldn't go a day, bro. Like, I don't know, but I just could not get myself to stop. If you told 15, 16, 17-year-old me that one day I would be able to live without touching myself, he wouldn't believe it, bro. That's how bad it was. I wanted to stop with all my life, but I just couldn't, bro. I really, really couldn't, bro. And I did not know how I was gonna get out of it, you know. Like, I would stop for a day, but that day would be a very hard day. Then I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna stop and I'll get back to it. And then I'm gonna stop, then I'd get back to it. And it was just a vicious cycle, bro, of me just trying my best to stop. It didn't necessarily ruin the relationships that I had, but I also did things with girls that I was not supposed to do at a young age, right? Peer pressure. You also want to tell your friends that you did it, but you also now have this unhealthy desire of having sex and all of that. So I'm like, you know. And I don't want to go into specifics when it comes to relationships, right? I just want to talk about my last specifically. And it was so bad. It was really bad. I could not get myself to stop until this one day where I was gonna go back to my regular old routine because I'd finally given up on trying to stop, you know. And then I know a month later I'm gonna try again to stop, but I know that this makes me feel bad and I hate it, and my mind seems so unclear when I always engage in this. And then I was on Instagram and I was scrolling. This was when Instagram started becoming a bit more modern, like the now Instagram that we have. Because back then Instagram wasn't like how it is now. Started scrolling right through pictures and stuff, and I saw this one Instagram channel or handle, yes, handle, and it was speaking about assisting men with porn addiction and everything, right? And I just saw one picture that was like, hey, don't do that, just go do push-ups and go to sleep, right? And I don't know why that Instagram picture spoke to me so much, but it did. I don't even remember what the Instagram handle is, but I just remember that picture. It's like, don't do it, go do push-ups, go sleep just for today. And then I went to go do push-ups, and then I went to go sleep, and I was like, just for today. Then the next day, I was like, I was able to do that yesterday. Let me just do it just for today. And every single day after that, my mindset was just for today. And I know it sounds cliche. This is something that you've probably heard before somewhere. But I promise you guys, if you keep it in mind that it's just for today, I'm just not gonna do it today. Just for today. It is going to go a long way. I went a month without watching the videos or touching myself. 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, 6 months. I turned 18. Turned 18. Right? I think after the 7th month, I turned 18. And then 8 months, 9 months, 10 months. The 10th month, I got into a relationship. And that relationship, me and the girl were very, very touchy. And it awakened the lust in me again. It awakened the lust in me again. So I had that tension. Those urges were coming back because I'm always getting stimulated in this type of way again because I'm with this girl. And then I fell back into the sin. Again, bro. Right? I fell back into the sin again. And I was so upset because I had made so much progress, bro. I genuinely thought I had it under control now. But that is where it actually gets dangerous. It's when you go a long time and you think that you have it under control and then you become complacent. And that's what I was starting to do, because I was anything that had any sexual stimulating thing, even if it wasn't necessarily pornography, right? Anything that just spoke about sex or like insinuated sex, anything like that, I would just block it and I would not watch it and avoid it with everything in me. But then as time went on, I'm like, I'm not addicted anymore. I don't watch it anymore. So like, why is this gonna hurt? Being touchy with this girl, it's not gonna hurt. I've already conquered this. But I fell back into the sin. And this time, it wasn't an addiction. It's something called sin management. Sin management where you're not addicted, but at least once a week, you do it. And that's what I did. Once a week, right? And it really brought back all the feelings of guilt and whatever. And I felt like all the progress that I've made got lost, And then I went periods of like 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 2 months without doing it. But then I'd go back. Then I'd go months without doing it. Then I'd go back. Then I'd go months without doing it. And I'm like, I am still living in the sin. I have not fully let go of the sin. And that happened for another 2 years. Right? I don't want to tell you guys how old I am right now, because you guys might just figure out how long ago that was to this present day. So I'm not going to do that. But then last year, met another girl, right? But this time, I started taking my Christianity serious. So I have no intentions of sleeping with the girl before marriage. I have no intentions of going back to the lust. And surprisingly, after I met this girl, I stopped, right? But then that thing just lasted a month, but after meeting this person, it stopped for the whole year. But then it came back. Then it stopped again, And then now here I am. I have stopped it completely. Not sure, right? Which is insane that I'm making this video. But it's been a very, very long while since I've actually engaged in any sorts of lustful things. Okay. Now I have to be honest. I can't be honest with you guys because it involves another person, right? But I did not sleep with another person. Yes. But I can't be fully honest with you guys because it involves other people. And that's now Oh no, how am I going to post this video? This is already 15 minutes long. Okay, let me just continue. But the lesson that I've learned from this, for those who are really, really struggling with this, is this. Just for today. Just for today. That's all you need. If it is really, really hurting you and you are really struggling with it, just don't do it today. And then tomorrow, just tell yourself, not today. And then the next day, just say not today. Eventually, a month will pass by. 2 months will pass by. 3 months will pass by. And the urges won't control you as much anymore. You know. And now, what it will depend is your willingness to let go of the sin. Because the sin does not control me anymore. But I'm just left with the willingness part to let go of it. And I've gotten to that point, but I also don't want to be prideful and say that I have gotten to that point, because it will humble you quickly. Lust will humble you quickly, bro. You will think that you've made it. Then you'll be like, what? You? No ways. And you're going back into the sin. But yeah, man, I genuinely hope sharing this is going to help someone. I'm gonna send this to my boys before actually making this whole channel and stuff. I hope my parents never see this. Up until this YouTube channel is like 100,000 subscribers or something. What am I doing? Yeah. Now, I know that you guys may be expecting me to be someone who has conquered this and don't really fight against it anymore, but I genuinely believe that this is a fight that we're going to fight forever. And I've accepted that right now, that this is something, lust is something I am going to fight for the rest of my life. And that is okay. We are doing it for God, right? And maybe I thought that I wouldn't make a video like this because I haven't figured it out yet. But I've come a long way. And I know this will help someone who is where I was before. Have a nice one, guys. Like and subscribe. Peace.